I'm Varigana Dre, owner of Engineer by Dre, creator of the hottest shirts in the game right now. I'm from Ypsilanti, Michigan, born and raised. Down here in Texas right now, I'm in Houston. And we rocking Without the Mud series right now. Let's get it. So Engineer by Dre, the meaning behind it is actually a pun to me because I used to be an engineer. I'm an ex-engineer turned fashion designer. It took me 10 years to get my mechanical engineering degree, and it took me 3 months to have a successful business. So I'm literally engineering fashion right now. I don't call myself a fashion designer, I'm a fashion engineer. So that's how we gonna rock it with the whole Engineer by Dre. And like the engineering life, it ain't easy, you know, but like I genuinely want to see more black engineers. You know, like I was inspired to be an engineer based off my best friend was into it when we was growing up. And I didn't know what I wanted to do when I graduated high school. So I'm just like, I just did what he was doing, you know. But as I got older, I ended up learning to appreciate more about engineering because I started learning that there was no black engineers for real. Like honestly, the majority of the world is like 3% black engineers. Only 1% of that is women. So I wanted to stick it out and try to make it happen, but the degree was getting harder and harder for me, especially when you working, you know, full-time jobs and trying to go to school full-time. It wasn't easy. So getting my degree, that was the first thing I wanted to do, was just make sure I could become a black engineer just so I could actually inspire others to do it. But getting out of it was pretty easy for me because I knew it wasn't really truly my passion. So when it came down for me to transition from an engineer to a fashion engineer, is what I'm calling myself, it was just kind of, I felt like I needed to do that, you know, just for my own sake, my own happiness, honestly. Because like I said, I went in that degree, doing it because that's somebody, you know, inspired me to do it. You know, somebody was trying to put me on the right path, straight and narrow. And it's really a meal ticket. Honestly, you could use engineer to fund your passion, honestly. You know, you got a career like that that's paying you that great, man. You know, take the extra funds that you making and go start a business. Go start your passion. Use it to fund your passion. So it was huge because that's the whole premise of my brand, like the whole Engineer by Dre. So me being an actual engineer, that kind of helped with the whole story behind my brand. Because yeah, like I make a dope product, but honestly, just knowing that like a lot of my supporters actually know that I used to be an engineer. You know, a lot of people know, and there's a lot of people who actually into STEM, you know, related things. So they kind of, you know, like my brand based off like, man, he's actually really a black engineer, you know, and that's dope. I love that it's not just the clothes, but it's really just like people love supporting like other black people that's trying to do something bigger than them. You know what I'm saying? It's really like for the culture to see a black engineer to move how I'm moving and living how I'm living and really inspiring people how I'm inspiring people, you know? So it's pretty, like the whole engineering kind of added to the story of the Engineer by Dre. It's more than just a name. So the name actually came to me, I went through a couple names before I got down to Engineer by Dre. I don't remember the names I had at first because I've just been so locked in on this one, I already forgot about the other ones. But that name came to me because somebody called me a fashion engineer like years ago, and that just stuck with me because honestly, I suck at engineering. I mean, you spend 10 years getting a degree, that's clearly not probably your best thing you're good at, you know what I'm saying? Just due to just like, you know, how long it took me to do it. I knew I wasn't the best engineer. Don't get me wrong, I was good at my job, I got it done, but it wasn't truly my passion for real, where I could say I was really good at it, because I never was trying to really invest too much time in it. It wasn't one of them things that I love so much that I'm gonna go home and just spend countless hours doing it, you know? So when it came down for me to the name, I'm like, Engineer by Dre, making clothes is the same thing as engineering, you know? Like all my stuff is cut and sewn, so that's the same concept. You have to make measurements, you have to you know, find the best material, the right material, what's sustainable. You have to do data analysis. I was doing all of that to make my clothes. So I'm literally using engineering concepts to create my clothes. So that's kind of where the whole name, it made sense when I started looking at my work ethic and how I was going to make clothes. I'm like, man, this is actually the same as engineering. engineering is all about problem solving. When I started a clothing brand, I didn't know how to do it. So I had to literally use problem solving skills to start me a brand. So for me to, to do everything I was doing to make it make sense for me, I was using engineering concepts because I had the tools, the resources from engineering, from the skills that I did learn, and I applied that for how I was going to make clothes. So that's where the whole name came from, and that's how it made sense to me. See, like the biggest thing with my brand, like since I am using engineering concepts, I'm always trying to solve problems with my clothes. Like I don't buy just like clothes that's already pre-made and slap my logo on it, because I just know that like I'm a certain type of build, right? I don't have like the build that most brands can make a universal size chart for, like me being a stockier, heavier dude, it kind of limit us of what we can wear and how it fits us. Most brands are very standard for like the more slimmer fit or athletic build. And me being a heavier set dude, I had to make something that made me look like, that actually fits me right. And I'm like, man. So now I had to make all my measurements and get the perfect fit. And a lot of people who actually, is a bigger build, they love my brand because they know that now it's like when it comes to as a bigger person shopping, they know there's always somewhere where they could go shop at, and that's Engineered by Dre. So the people who don't know, before Engineered by Dre was a thing, it was Very Organic Dre. And Very Organic Dre was just a regular dude, but doing fit pics and trying to get exposure through other brands. They was reposting me. I had a partnership, shout out to Mint Crew actually. That was my first brand deal. And using those clothes, that was kind of building my clientele, because before I started my brand, I was doing the fit pics. I was gaining, so people who like my outfits and like how, like I said, I'm a stockier build, so you gotta keep that in mind. So when people who like my outfits, they liked it how it looked on me, on my size of a person, right? So when the men who were following me, or women or whoever, they were following me based off of like, man, like not only is he like, getting a fly every day, he's tagging the brands. Now I know where to shop at. If I want to get some different clothes, I know where to buy it from. So a lot of these brands, a lot of my clientele now who was there before Engineered by Dre, the first thing they say is like, man, I'm actually shopping with you because before you had your brand, I seen how you was finding clothes that actually fit you well, and they had similar builds. So when I started, I had like a community of like men who were built like me. And so me doing the fit pics and stuff like that, I was already building my clientele before I even had a brand. You see what I'm saying? So me starting off doing the content creating, and me starting off doing fit pics and working with other brands, the other brands will post me on wearing their clothes. People, so now I'm using their exposure, their following, I'm getting more following, more exposure. I didn't even have a big following when I first started. I only had like probably 8,000 followers when I first started, which is a good number. But now, in literally less than a year, I gained over 10,000 followers, and I had my Instagram since like 2013, and I had 8,000 followers since then. So get 10,000 followers in less than a year, you know what I'm saying? I don't work with friends. I had that in my mind 2 years ago. I just didn't know how it was going to look in clothes. Like it was just like a caption I had on my Instagram post. It wasn't even like meant for clothes. And then so me being a content creator before I was a fashion designer, I used to have like I still have it, a whole note tab of just like captions that I'm going to use for my next post. So when I was making my clothes, I was going through, when I first started trying to make clothes, I was going through that note tab to kind of see like what like inspires me out of there, like what kind of like fire quotes that I see. And I had a quote from back in like 2021 when I wrote, I only want to work with friends. And I was looking at I had bought a tech pack from like somebody who sells tech packs, and I was just looking at all the shirt design. There was like shirts, there was jackets, there was, bubble coats, all this different there was a work shirt on there. And I just kind of put two and two together. I'm like, I don't want to work with friends on a work shirt. That would be fire. And somebody who's actually like really into dressing, somebody really creative, I knew that like I only needed to trust myself. I wasn't trying to figure out if anybody else liked this or nothing. I'm like, man, I've been doing this dressing stuff. I like what I like, and that's how I want my brand to be. So I just put it on a shirt. I made the mock-up. I taught myself how to start making mock-ups on Adobe Illustrator through YouTube. I did YouTube University for pretty much my whole brand, honestly. And then I found manufacturers on Alibaba, and I was just testing different ones. I found one that actually made one that I like. I'm like, oh, this actually nice. This came out good. We had to, iron out the details, but the samples was, it came out good. When I first dropped Capsule 1, I did not have a bulk. I couldn't even afford a bulk, if we're being honest. I was still in college broke when I started my brand. And so what I did was I opened my pre-orders up. So I made one video, and that was nothing but God, because I made that one video on TikTok and it went viral. It went 100,000 views. And it was just a simple video of just me standing in my loft at the time saying that, hey, I got these shirts I'm making, and I just want y'all to check it out. That's pretty much all I said. And God just said, I want everybody to see this. And it just went crazy. And then from there, I opened up my pre-orders, and I want to say like in the first day that I opened up I had like at least 100 orders in the first day I opened my pre-orders. And that's how I knew I had something. For you to start a brand in your first time ever and come out the gate with 100 orders in your first day, I knew I had something amazing, and I just capitalized off it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't be trying to sit here and take advice from it. Man, you gotta get away from the work shirts, man. It's not broke for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still capitalizing off of this day, and I'm still making if anybody who really follow me and support me, they know, man, I'm making things I got new stuff coming every day. Yeah. We about to transition to the travel gear. Yeah, it's one of my duffel bag. This is one of my backpacks right here. You got duffel bags, purses. I'm making everything. Finding influencers and getting my stuff to the right people is probably like my favorite part about my job, because it makes me feel so good knowing that like even like last night I went to bed and I woke up this morning to 200 new followers, and I'm like, man, what the fuck just happened? And it was her name is Hi, my name is T. She's like a Wildin' Out. She on Wildin' Out. She like got 2 million followers. I woke up to her wearing my shirt, and that was crazy because I don't even know how she found my page, but she reached out to me and said, hey, I love your stuff. And I instantly just said, oh, I would love to send you some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I sent her some stuff, but I sent her that shirt that she wore last night. I sent her that probably 2 months ago, and she just now posted it, So I honestly thought she forgot about it. And just to see that post, man, that junk is crazy. But when it comes to like how I'm reaching out to people, because there is a bunch of people that I reach out to. I usually target, when I first started, I was targeting influencers who only make clothing fast, like fashion content, I wasn't really getting like big names, but I was getting like fashion people who like probably had like 50K followers, 100K followers to like 200K max. I wasn't at the level now. I could get people who's bigger than that now, but at that when I was just reaching out to them and seeing what happens. And honestly, a lot of them who do see it, they really liked my stuff. So it's because a lot of people kind of like they don't realize that it's one thing to get a product to somebody, but it's one thing to actually have a fire product that they actually want to wear, support, push like it's theirs. Like everybody who really rocks my stuff literally supports it like it's literally their brand, And I didn't even ask for that. They just genuinely love my work. They genuinely love the person behind the brand, and they love the items that I'm giving them. Probably my main inspirations. Cool Kai is like literally the leader of an independent brand, and that's what a lot of people kind of fail to realize. Like, no matter if you don't like his brand, that man does numbers independently. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally what I'm on. I'm not sold in no big stores right now. I'm not, I'm really just making my own noise in the world right now, just based off the strength of me, and I want to keep staying like that. Like, I don't think I ever want to branch off to like where I'm just like too big. If I get the opportunity, I'm definitely gonna, I would think about it, consider it, but at the same time, it's like, I'm fine with independent at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing numbers. I've been feeding my family off this. I've been, like, everybody's good based off of what I'm doing that I did for myself. You see what I'm saying? So the independent lane is perfectly fine with me. But Cool Kai is definitely one, and Joe Fresh Good is probably the other one. Those are probably my only inspirations when it comes to like owning a fashion brand, and it's really just because how they move, how they stand on business for themselves, and how they don't really try to do too much when it comes to like a lot of these fashion brands, like they kind of get into that TikTok wave, and then they gotta feel like it's just like it'd be some weird energy. I could just feel it even through the screen. I never even met them in person. I could just feel like the energy be off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, like I feel like them two men, they for sure like my only inspiration when it comes to fashion. I mean, besides that, it's gonna be me. Like I feel like I inspire myself every day. To me, I would just tell somebody that if you want to do something, you honestly, first thing first, you need to go do it. You need to actually start. Once you start, you need to actually like kind of get your feet wet, like try different things. Don't just start with one thing and just be like, oh, this don't work, and then just start asking everybody for help. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of people get to, messaging me, asking me for advice or asking me to mentor, and they haven't done enough. You know what I'm saying? Like before, like I told you, when I started my brand, I went through trial and error before I got to where the level I'm at, I didn't sit there and just ask for help the whole time. I was actually doing trial and error to try to see, man, what works for me. I feel like if you don't really try enough to see what works for you enough, then you're not gonna get to where you need to be. You're gonna learn a lot when you try and fail. You learn the most when you try and fail. So the biggest thing I would tell anybody is honestly just try and fail, and then get back up and try again. You eventually will figure out what works for you. Eventually will learn. You will get tougher. You will get stronger, and you will get smarter because you're going to realize what you did wrong, and you will try to make sure you don't do that again. You know what I'm saying? So that's the best advice I'll tell anybody. When you really made something on your own, when you really had just pulled a vision out your head and just said, look, I'm about to bring this to the world, and I'm about to make this something like where it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick like mud. You see what I'm saying? That's what that means to me. Because at the same time, it's like if you literally, no matter what your background is, if you had an idea and you took it out your head and you brought it to the world and you made it to light, that's what it means to get it out the mud to me. If I had to sit here and tell y'all what I have coming, we'd be sitting here for the next 20 hours. Okay, I got too much stuff coming. Y'all gotta stay tuned. The brand is engineered by Dre. I'm literally the next one up. If I'm not the next one up, I'm good where I'm at because I'm perfectly fine where I'm at. Trust me, I got the hottest brand out right now. You guys will love it. I'm always growing. I'm always learning. I'm literally getting better at this every day. I'm never one of them brands who just feel like they know everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my best to, get this stuff going and get it out the mud. So yeah, please.